Greg and Jane Hamilton Parker are the world's most psychic couple. Can they speak to the dead and bring messages of hope in these troubled times? Join them for an evening of mystical talks, world predictions, and spirit messages.
Hi and welcome to what I call my full moon readings, because they're done every full moon, monthly, or around about a full moon if I can. These are done for free and they're done on Zoom on my Patreon channel, and you can join me there if you like. But some of these messages might be for you, because sometimes they don't get picked up, and things that don't get picked up often get picked up later, what we call advanced readings. So if the message is for you at all, please put a comment in the comment below, or if you'd like to try to connect somehow, just make a comment in the comment below and it might encourage spirit to be able to connect with you. So what we're going to see is mediumistic readings, mediumship. It's communication with the spirit world. So I connect, I give evidence and proof, and it's about proving the continuation of the human personality after death. So again, if you want to join me, I do them for free on Patreon to all the Patreon members. Patrons give a little bit each month to help us support our mission to build a spiritual centre. You can find out all about that on the Patreon site. That's in the description below. You'll find a link to that. So you can join me on Zoom if you like. So here we go with this month's full moon readings. Hey, I like that name. And basically it's communication with the spirit world. So maybe there's a message for you, but hopefully you'll be inspired and uplifted by some of the proofs of life after death. Thanks for joining us.
Deborah, I think I'm going to come to you, all right, because you're I just feel kind of quite a strong energy coming from you at the moment, because when you said about that, the deaf person, all right, this was this is a male person we're talking about here, yeah? And this was like your father, you said.
Granddad.
Was there. I've got a man that's got a bit of deafness problem here. Let's see if I can get the connection with him here. Did he have a sort of a man's sense of humor? I could be a little bit sarcastic in the way he spoke sometimes. He's funny, but men would appreciate his humor more than the women sometimes, I feel, because I have a very good sense of humor with him.
He was in a male environment at work, so yes, that would make sense.
Because I feel with him, he's one that would be quite stubborn in his ways a lot of the time too. And I sense with him, he's talking about headaches and things. So you getting headaches?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's talking about she gets headaches a lot.
Yes.
And was he very good with money, can I say too?
Yes, very sensible, yes.
Because I feel that I'm dealing with money a lot, and I've got to be very cautious and careful with money.
Yeah.
And I feel I want to say to you at the moment, it's been money dealings that you've been having to do, which have been kind of a bit difficult and a bit tricky sometimes, I want to say.
Yeah.
You've had to be very careful how you tread with those things, because if you make a mistake, it could be a big mistake. You see what I mean, right?
Yeah.
But he was always very cautious. He said you'll be all right, but you know, he's just pointing that out. Some of the things he's seen. He, I don't know if there was also someone. I don't think it's with him, but was there someone who had a part of their finger missing?
Not as I can think of offhand.
Okay. You don't know of a J name that would go something that used to do woodwork and had part of his finger missing that would have been connected with him? Did he also work in a place that had a lot to do with, it was a lot of construction going on?
Yes.
You know?
So the woodwork and, you know, very manual, but yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Because he says he's talking about someone there that you would have known that was connected with him through his work that lost his finger. All right, so you might pick that up later on. All right.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit hard to go a bit blank sometimes at the time when you think afterwards.
All right, so, but he had this environment that had a lot of work that was like on benches and woodwork, making stuff, things. And mainly, I don't think I'm outside like in building sites. I think I'm under a cover with this, as if I've under, and we've got to make it all right. And he was a very down-to-earth man, I want to say, and a tremendously loyal man, I want to say, to people in the family and things like this. And he was a bit regimented in his views, I want to say too, because I think he's telling me that there was army in the family. I don't know if it's his father and he was brought up with army links around him.
We have got some old black and white photographs, and we have got military. I've got military in
Okay.
there.
Do you know that links with Colchester?
Not that I know personally.
Because I just felt as if I wanted to connect something with like Colchester, but I get there's military things that were around in the family.
In the family, they were either not just in black and white photographs, but younger family members of the family. They did like national service and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's talking about a proud history in the family of that. And was there also something that happened where in the family there was a big upset when a dog ran away? Because I've got something like we've
had upsets over dogs, but not permanently ran away. No.
I feel with him, he was a man that loved his animals and things like that.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And I just get that sort of thing. I think he's trying to talk to me about here. And was there also some connection in the family with horses?
I can't think
of
his
generation.
Possibly back with his generation, yes, but I can't think of anything offhand. Not
around you. I feel I want to sort of talk about. He wants to talk about that. There was the horses, because did they move from the town? He's talking about moving from town to city, some city to country. I'm getting this, and I'm hearing something about Manchester.
Oh, I don't know about the Manchester. Not offhand, no. I mean, some of the history may be a bit vague to me because he was my granddad.
Okay.
And some of it's a bit vague, I think. Some of the old
Manchester he wasn't a supporter of Manchester United.
He liked the football, but I'm not sure about the actual team as such. But yeah, like the footy and.
Because I'm hearing like Manchester United and sort of cheering the football on. So but he loved his football. Yeah.
That rings a bell, but not my granddad. My brother. Had the old rattles, the football rattles, making such a thing.
He goes like that. Yeah, he goes like that.
My brother would do that with the old rattles, such a racket.
and is there somebody around you at the moment that's moving house? Because he's talking about a change of houses.
Not present at the moment I can think of, no. Within the last year or so, yes, had family members, but not.
No, it felt like it was nearby. When I said about the rattle, the person that relates to with the football, does he have a house change or looking to buy or do something with the house?
They have done a lot of work with the house. Not sure about moving at the moment.
Okay, I just felt as if it was a bit more than just work on. I felt as if it was a change. I had to say I felt it was a change.
Probably, but not sure.
It's like I say, he could be. There's a sort of. I get the sort of sense with him. On the one hand, I feel quite humorous sort of vibration, but I also feel this stubbornness that goes with it as well. You know, and I feel with him. He's a man you couldn't you couldn't budge him once he made his opinion about something at all. You know, and in fact, I got to almost push him a bit when I talk with him, because he'd only talk to you when he wanted to. You know, he was that sort of man. You know, he'd go quiet, and then I have to sort of come on, have a talk to Deborah. You know, I've got this is personality that I'm feeling here, and I feel he would have been. I feel that his life was quite a lot of a struggle actually when it came to work and things like that, because I feel it gives me the sense that I had to work extraordinarily hard. And I feel as if there was something he's talking about. I still come back to that house thing. I don't know if they were forced to move or something like that. There was something about a house thing that he still keeps going on to me, and I can't get it out of my mind. That there was something about that there was a forced move put upon him. So I don't know if they had a lot of financial difficulties when they were young.
Oh yes, him and my grandmother, they had to really be frugal and.
Because I felt it was really troublesome, and I keep getting this fear of losing the house, right? So he became doubly cautious with things like money because of this, you know. I feel because
That does actually. Can I go back to the forcing of the house? There was a reason for having to give up. I'm looking for a house or having to leave their abode. It was my my grandmother, who I never met because she died suddenly before I was even born, and that was my granddad's wife. She died. She just dropped down to the ground dead with a blood clot. And so my mum and my mum and dad were newlyweds, so they were planning their own house and all the rest of it. They were in a flat, but they had to give up all those dreams to then move in with my granddad because he was on his own. And
okay, that might be what I'm trying to get here. I've been a bit confused with it because my channel's not quite open properly with me yet, but I'm just getting this feeling that there was all this confusion about the house and forced difficult situations that were around him. But he's kind of like a very generous minded person, very practical with it, and very generous minded with what he does in life. And he says that you've also got this sort of, you're very generous to people, perhaps a little bit over generous to people.
Yeah.
And I feel with you, the money goes out just as quickly as it comes.
Yes.
You know, and it's not that the money's not there, it's just that you tend to always be a soft touch when it comes to things like that. And I don't know if there was also some interest in music as well, because
musical background.
Yeah, he's talking about playing music. Was that yourself? Is it that did that? Was that
a little bit? Never really went into it professionally, but we've come from a musical background.
Yeah, because he plays the music. It's in the family type.
Yeah, orchestra and that kind of thing. Yeah, piano.
I also get books by him, with him as well, not by him but with him, because he's talking about books, lots of books. And I don't know if you've still got a lot of his books around you, because I just feel he has a great collection. He used to love to collect books.
Got an old cookbook that was handed down to me.
But that would have the same his would be your grandmother's, I expect, but it's got their name in it, right? And your grandmother that went over quickly, right? She was quite a how can I say? I get the feeling with her a very giggly sort of vibration to her, quite the different to him. She's kind of almost could be, ooh, you know, I'm in a fluster sort of feel with her, where he's very kind of stoic in many ways, but she's quite exuberant is the sort of feeling. She had lovely blue eyes. Her eyes are particularly powerful.
I only know from photographs because I never met her in real life. This was about 4 years before I was born, roughly. And she just died suddenly from a blood clot. It was about 4 years before I was born, so I wouldn't know her personality.
You wouldn't be able to. But that characteristic, this is your mum's side of the family, I think I'm talking about.
Yes, mum's side,
This characteristic is also in your mum's quality, as it were. Your mum has that sort of giggliness that comes from her mother here, right? Your mum's still alive, I'm feeling here.
Mum's still alive, yes.
But she's did she also, she's talking about ears again. Has she
I've got a problem with ears.
Yes, again. And and she's your nan was a good cook, but your mum is learning again. I don't know if she's doing lessons or something, but she's kind of learning again to cook.
That does make sense, because when my dad died 2 years ago, for a while we're in grief and with lonely widowhood, she didn't want to cook for herself. There was no compulsion to make a meal.
She's just picking it all up again.
She's picking it up now, yes.
Yeah, and she's enjoying it as well now.
Yes, she is, yeah.
Okay, that's what I feel. It's like she's on the mend, right?
Yes, she is, yeah.
This was like a bit of a depression that we had there.
It was,
right?
Yeah.
And she's starting to do more homely things like sewing and things like that. I'm seeing your mum doing what your gran would have done a lot of, right? And I also want to say, I feel as if around your mum, there might have been a bit of a shock recently too. She had another little bit of an upset that was a bit of a shock that came to her quite recently.
Health-wise, she had problems with a bit of a heart scare, so she had to go to hospital briefly.
Yeah, and was that close to your mum's birthday?
Yeah, I think actually I've lost track now. I think it was. Yeah, I've lost track now.
I just feel it was right near her birthday or something here, and And does she have to get all her teeth done?
Yeah, she has sometimes does have to have some dental work done.
Because I'm just getting this, and she's scared of the dentist.
Well, I suppose the cost for a start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just got implants. I got a lot done, all implanted teeth, and so it's
She has
very
had some
expensive.
work done and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and does somebody have a house in Spain? Is that connected around somewhere on your mum's side?
Spain, you've had a connection with Spain. That's my older daughter's partner. He lived in Spain, so he's fluent in Spanish.
Okay, he's talking about Spain. I felt as if somebody wanted a house there as well. There's a place that we're thinking about.
Yes, and also with Spain or Gran Canaria, so it's still the Spanish language. My brother's wife's family, parents are out there.
Okay, because
my niece is learning Spanish.
Okay, because I'm just getting all this Spanishy stuff coming to me.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, it's I see the family going there as well. A family holiday, a group of you, all different parts of the family going as a larger group. I'm seeing here to do something there. Okay, so something about that.
My brother and his wife, probably more.
Yeah. But I say I want to do that, right? Because that's coming up. I feel I want to do that because that'll be fun. All right. It's for your mum. I want to say. It seems for some reason for your mum. Right. And has she just got has she been a bit nervous about driving, your mother, or going in cars even?
She's given up her car because she lost.
I just feel nervous, but I feel as if I want to get back driving again.
My mum, no, she won't get back to
she's
it
lost
now.
all her confidence, you know?
Yes.
It's like I've lost all my confidence. And she used to be very confident, but she's
yeah, she was. But with the heart problems, because she's had a bit of a fall and a little bit, not unconscious, but she seemed to lose consciousness.
Okay, because I just sense this lack of confidence with life and things what she's doing, you know, and she feels kind of at a loss, and she just needs to get that confidence back. Otherwise, she'll be forever turning to other people to do everything for her, you know, and you can't really have that because she needs to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel, you know, she's had a few health issues that she's had to deal with too, you know, and I think those things have got to be she needs to be quite determined to make sure that she keeps going, you know. Okay, well, he's sending a lot of love to the family at the moment, because I think it's been, like I said at the beginning, kind of a bit difficult times with money and things like that, and sorting all the problems out on that area in life. And he's saying that you'll get through it, you know, not to worry, those things are going to get through it. They're sending both of them, because I've got both grandparents here, but they're sending their love to your mum particularly, because I think she's struggled a bit of the last few years. And they've often come in and looked at her and said, you know, oh, there she is, she's tired out, she's depressed, but she's kind of going through a little bit of an up now, and keep that momentum going for you. And I just get this feeling that there's some of the younger members of the family, I'm feeling as if somebody's trying for a baby at the moment, and I'm just getting the sense that there's some news of some sort that I feel of a new birth coming.
Oh, that could be my older daughter, but she's not sure at the moment because she's having positive tests, then negative tests. She's all over the place at the moment. But
I feel very positive about that, you know, and I feel that she's another musical one. Yeah, she's another one that loves music.
Oh yes,
yeah. And I think that would be a musical child that she'll have for some reason. So they're bringing their love, and thank you for taking the message from them.
Oh, thank you, Craig.
It took me a little bit of a while to get moving on it, but I was sort of kind of came in on a bit of a rush there tonight. All right. So there we go. They're just giving their love to you. All right.
Thank you.
All right, let's see if I can get another link now. I'm starting to feel that I'm a bit more linked in now.
I might see what I've got. So I've got numbers. Yeah, that was one.
Got distractions still. I'll wait for them to finish. Okay, it might not be a bad idea if people might mute themselves until they know that I'm connected. That's better, because those distractions are a bit difficult. So you can still all hear me, can't you? Yes. Okay, that's better. Okay, thank you. All right, let's see what we can pick up next and see if I can pick up something. Those distractions are a little bit difficult. Okay. Okay, well, just listen to what I give first and see if it's with any of you here, because I've got a gentleman coming through now, and he, there's two things that he's showing me simultaneously here, because I think when he was a younger man, he had some connection with something like flying, because I'm seeing aeroplanes and things like this. But in his later life, I get the feeling with him that he was very much a lover of the countryside, because I'm seeing him walking with his dog, particularly because he seems to have like what I would see as being like a collie dog or a sheep dog of some sort, because he would have loved, I'm seeing in a kind of an environment where there might have been things like sheep and things like this. There's a sheep connection. But there's also this, somehow there's a connection here with aeroplanes. He might have done something in his earlier life where there was some connection where he would have been involved in aeroplanes. I'm going to leave that for the first start of this. Now, does anybody understand that at all? So I want to say about the aeroplanes in the background. That seems to be significant to him. Let's see if I can get a bit more, see if I can get any more, might clinch it for you. He's somewhere hilly. It's like if it was in England, it would be somewhere reminiscent of Wales or Scotland, because I've got hillsides around me here. So a very, very old style rural area, I want to say. I see a sort of like stone buildings, old style stone buildings around me. And I feel with him, there's, I think I want a J name like Jack or Jack. He might be talking about a Jack or a Jackie connected here too. Jack, Jackson, Jack, something like that. Could be a very impatient man, I want to say as well. And he says that he loved things like the circus, going to the circus, because I'm getting pictures of a circus around me now. And had a habit of whistling. Come on, give me something more that we can tie you in with, sir. Another awkward, he's a bit of an awkward person, actually. I've got to say, he could be, again, a bit like the link with Deborah. I've got someone very stubborn here with me. And also a bit religious as well in his earlier life too. And you can't place it, Val, can you? So I'm asking, who is this with? And he's saying it could be, I think I want to be drawn to you.
I can take the aircraft because my dad was an engineer in the RAF, and I can take the Jack.
Sorry?
I can take Jack, but I didn't know him very well. Again, you know, he was an uncle from quite a long way back. But he was he did like countryside, but he didn't have because he was something to do with the RSPB when it first started. But it that was in Dungeness.
Dungeness is where? Scotland, isn't it?
No, it's Sussex.
Okay, but most most of that you can take.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he would be like an uncle to you.
Yes.
And he was kind of a bit stubborn, can I say?
Well, I don't know because
But there's the airline links, the airplanes. He worked in the airplanes because that was obviously the thing that...
No, that was my father.
That's your father that was the airplanes. Okay. And was this your father's brother that we're talking about here?
No.
As an uncle on the uncle side. Okay. So it's probably your father that's trying to get through to me, I would have thought, if we got the airplane link here, but I think I've got the uncle with the other members of the family coming in. So your father had the connection with the airplanes in the past.
Definitely. Yeah.
And can I say he was in his life, most of his life anyway, he was a very energetic sort of person, because I feel that I've kind of I'm very practical. I'm always working. I'm always kind of getting things done. I'm good at fixing things, right?
Yeah,
I'm good at and I'll do my work for you for nothing. Like I'll put the door on for you, or I'll fix the ceiling. I'll do I'll have a go at anything at all, because I've got this kind of very practical mind with him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would say in life he would not have been massively spiritual in the sense that, you know, we'd be talking about communicating with the spirit world and things. He's very much a man that I felt was down to earth with his understanding of things. But I would say humanitarian in that I've got a lot of kindness and love and things like that. But I would have said his spirituality would have been much more like traditional Christian or something like that.
Maybe in the beginning, but no, I mean, he was very much into spiritualism.
Oh, was he? Did he come from a traditional background, though?
He did, yes.
Yeah. And was he brought up with quite a traditional Christian upbringing, can I say?
Well, probably. He had quite a few Bibles.
Okay. So I get the feeling he had to fight for his corner, as it were, with his beliefs. This is what I think he wants to say to me here.
Yeah.
And he would be could he play the piano?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd forgotten that.
Okay. And was he also quite good at cards as well? Like to play cards?
Well, I don't know. I don't think we played cards that much.
Okay. I'm seeing him playing Patience in particular.
Oh, I don't know. When I knew him, we didn't.
Okay. He's got the piano. I'm right with the piano.
Piano, yeah.
And he used to enjoy that. And I feel that he's got a very good, like I say, practical mind, pretty good with anything like geometry and mathematics and things like that too, because I feel as if I've got that sort of mind that's quite thorough.
Yeah, because he was an engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel also he had, did he have a stroke? Because I get the feeling there's a little bit of problems with my mobility of some sort, which I get the feeling it's caused by something sudden happening to me.
Well, I think it was more heart problems and several heart attacks.
That's the stroke, isn't it? The heart. But I'm just saying, was there also some problems with? Did he have problems speaking at the end with getting his words out? Like I can't move one side of my mouth properly. That's the feeling I get. Like I've been to the dentist and I'm numb.
I think what you're picking up is Dad had shingles very badly over one side of his eye and face.
So he couldn't, it was making my speaking difficult. Like it's something that's like numb all around here.
Yes, it would have been.
So that
yeah.
would be like what would make us making this, because I thought it might have been a stroke or something, because I feel I can't get my mouth out here speaking. Okay, and it was very uncomfortable for him and very distressing, I want to say, while he was here, because he was always in his youth, particularly, would always be considered a good-looking man, you know.
Yes.
And for him, it was quite hard to handle, because it was, you know, he's could be quite proud in many respects. Did he also have some connections? I'm getting Portsmouth, so I don't know if he also had connections with near me down here towards Portsmouth way.
Well, my mum, his wife, her family, they were sailors, and so they were either trained in Portsmouth or they.
Okay, because they came from, so he had a strong connection with Portsmouth. And I also want to say with that connection, was he also very interested in Sir Arthur Conan Doyle?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, that was where we go through the spiritualist movement.
But that was where his interest was, with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and I think initially reading the Sherlock Holmes books and things like that, you know. And because I feel I feel well read with those type of books, you know. I feel like I like to read that type of structured story, you know. It gives me that feeling. Have you been writing?
Well, I suppose I do, yes. Yeah.
I get the sense that you're writing something that is kind of more than just a sort of day-to-day writing. It feels like I'm writing something that has form and structure to it, you know, not necessarily with the view to publish, but I feel it's like the view to, it's not a diary, but it's more than that. It's like I'm getting the thoughts and ideas down. That's what I feel he's given me here.
I think it's sort of like self-development and self-inquiry.
It's kind of like part of your way of self-development, your way of connecting in a way, also intuitively working with this too. I want to say it's like the writing is inspired. I want to say, you know, it's like inspired. And I feel you often turn to your dad asking, can you give me some thoughts? Can you give me some ideas? Can you push me in the right direction? Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel he's there wanting to give you some guidance, some energy, some healing, right? Was he very interested particularly in spiritual healing?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Right. And he was very into the idea of giving healing from the spirit side, wasn't he? Of helping people.
Oh yes, yes.
Spirits can heal, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel he's telling me that I just get the feeling that he would be connected by the whole number of healers on the spirit side. And any of us here at the moment that need healing of any sort, he would help to bring some healing to us, right? I feel he's trying to bring us some healing. Okay, he's trying to give us some healing here to help those that need the healing, right? So he's bringing the spirit people around me now to say there's healing available, right? And it's just, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. I can just feel him saying, you'll feel it. We bring the healers, the healing angels with us, he's saying. And he had he tells me he's happy with the life he had. He had a good life, he says, because he worked hard. He had to struggle a lot. I don't think things come easy money-wise with him. But I always feel there's a sense with him of great sense of honesty and dignity. He's a man that would always keep his word no matter what.
Yeah,
I think never ever let a person down, you know. He could be a bit touchy with who he chooses as his friends and things, you know. It took a little while to get to know him if you were a complete stranger to the family, you know. And he was fussy about what he ate and things like that as well, because I get, you know. And he tells me that sometimes in life we just have to keep soldiering on. And he says sometimes we feel that we've had enough of life. It's been hard going, you know. We think, oh, give me some strength. And he says, he says that's sometimes how you feel, you know. I need the strength. I need the strength, right?
Yeah, I can
relate with what I'm saying here. And I feel he's saying that I'll give you the strength, you know, from the spirit side, he's saying, we bring healing, right? And he says, I bring you also strength and encouragement. And one other thing I saw about the airplanes, but was there also someone in the family connected with the theatre? You would know it. I think I'm on my next link. All right. I think the next link has something to do with the theatre. So I'm going to pass his love on to you, Val. All right. And let you know he's around you. And I don't know, you've been doing something new to the house as well, I feel. And I just feel as if I'm bringing some brighter colours around me. And I just saw the colour violet. So that don't know if it means anything to you, does it? No.
No.
I'm on my next link. All right. So okay. So listen on the rest of you, because I'm seeing the colour violet. So I might be talking about the name Violet here. And I'm also seeing there's some connections with somebody in the family that had some direct connection, not just an interest in, but I've got some direct connection with working with the theatre. They're not necessarily on the stage, but they might have had something to do with a theatre setting. I've got something with a theatre setting. Don't let the violet put you off, just in case I'm wrong with that, but I want to come to a theatre type of vibration here. And trying to connect here. Sorry?
So the only thing is I have known quite a lot of Indian singers and people that play on the stage, and so they're theatrical, but they give concerts and things.
Oh, so you've had quite a few connections with theatre things of late. So that might be the end part towards your message then. It was because I was getting people connected with someone connected with the theatre.
Yeah, well,
and a lady connected with the theatre.
A few years ago, but I have had quite a few people staying with me.
The theatre people. Okay, so that might be the tail end for you then, Val. There was bits I was picking up there around you, so that might not be for everybody, unless someone else here can understand the theatre link strongly. Then I think I'm with you with that then, Val. Okay, all right. So we need
a memory. Thank you.
Need a new link. Let me see if I can find a new link.
Shall I mute me now?
Yes, better mute yourself now, please, Val. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm seeing some, the first thing I'm getting here is I'm getting pictures of the book Alice in Wonderland. Whether I've gone down the rabbit hole here, I don't know. But somebody's talking to me about a love of the book of Alice in Wonderland. And I'm not with you, Sir Vander, am I? No, you don't understand that. No, because I've got someone here on the spirit side talking, I loved Alice in Wonderland and Lewis Carroll and all those type of stories. And it's a gentleman that's talking to me about this because he would have read this story a lot to people in the family.
It could be me. It could be me, possibly.
I felt I was on the same size of the screen. Yes. Yes,
it could. It could be me. My mum's just given me a book I requested. It was a Lewis Carroll book, which my dad had. I wonder if it could be.
Okay. Let me see if we got that, because this is Lewis Carroll things obviously then significant to you today.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Was there a gentleman in the spirit that was there a gent? Keep yourself muted if you just come in, please, Hannah, until we know. So I've got a gentleman on the spirit that's talking about this that loved to read stories. He loved to read them out loud to people.
Yes.
Right, he loved to tell stories and express stories, and I got the feeling he loved the classical things, particularly like the Alice in Wonderland type of stories. But I see that as particularly significant to him.
That was significant to me, yeah.
So it's significant to you, and it makes sense to you. this gentleman I feel is quite close to you, so I don't know if this is a direct family link. Would this relate what I'm talking about with your father here?
Yes.
Driving,
Yes.
right? And he could get quite excitable, I feel sometimes, because I feel he's a person that could be quite fun and could quite, I've got this kind storytelling man, but at the same time, I've got someone that could be quite humorous and could be quite funny with what he says.
Yeah.
And he says, I went over far too soon. I wasn't supposed to go over. Does that make sense? Was there some complication with his passing, that there was some difficulties, something went wrong that meant he went over sooner than he should have done?
I wouldn't say so. He was quite old, but it was sooner than he wanted to. Okay. I felt he wanted to stay.
I don't know if there were some medical issues that were kind of had to be questioned.
I'm not sure.
I just get the sense, I think he's talking about I was misdiagnosed or something. They didn't spot it.
It was a late diagnosed cancer.
So they must have missed it for a long time, because he says it wasn't spotted. This is what I feel him saying here. He dressed well, didn't he? Because I feel I dressed well.
He was formal. He dressed formally.
Yeah, that's what I say. He dresses well, suits and things like that.
Yes, always a suit.
Smart, sort of.
Yes, yes.
And I also feel with him he loved the garden as well when he was fit too, because I get that side of him too. So I dress for that as in a different way.
Yes, he had his special gardening clothes. Yeah,
so he'd get out of his gardening clothes back into his suit. So so I've got my ragged suit and I've got my smart suit, and he tells me his gardening suit, he looked a bit like Wurzel Gummidge when he put that on, because it had the hat and everything, right? And he, like I say, he's got quite a good sense of humor with him too. He loved animals, I want to say, with him as well, because he's talking about a dog, and he's talking about a dog that went over quite recently.
No.
You sure? Why do I hear the name Marky?
No, maybe it's not for me then.
No, the link is with you. It's just I might have something come off wrong, or I've misheard it. But someone hasn't recently just lost the dog?
Not that I know of, but it's possible.
Okay. So he loved to read the stories. Now he's talking something here about, all right, this sounds bonkers. I'll have to say I'm just seeing for some reason toothpaste. I don't know if that means anything to you, does it? And he jokes about it. I know that sounds mad, but I mean, to say no if it means wrong, if it means nothing.
I'm afraid it doesn't mean anything to me.
Because I thought there was something funny he's trying to talk to me about toothpaste or something, or a joke with toothpaste and things. Did he have false teeth?
Yes.
Did he muck around with his false teeth sometimes and pull jokes? I don't know if I don't need the toothpaste anymore, but I just get the feeling he'd joke about it or something.
Possibly.
Because he had the full pull-out false teeth, didn't he?
Yes.
So I just get something with, because he strikes me as quite a humorous character sometimes, right? Because I can kind of see it in his eyes. And he wants you to know he's all right over there, because you worry about him, because right at the very end, it was he deteriorated very fast. And and he said, I looked awful at the end, he says, but I look good now, he says to me, right?
Yeah.
And he's the sort of man that could pull your leg quite a lot as well, I want to say. He likes to sort of pull people's leg. He'd have a joke with you and things like this, and you wouldn't know he's joking or not sometimes with things he'd say. And he's talking about, I don't know if you've just had a piece of jewelry as a present.
Yes, that was the engagement ring he bought for my mum, and she gave it to me on Sunday.
Okay, so you've just been given that as a present,
Yes,
all right?
Yeah.
So that's the proof you need. Then it's him. See, and you're good. I get the sense that you're not going to wear it on your finger, but you're going to wear it around your neck. I don't know if that was mine or whether somebody used to wear it around their neck, because I saw a chain come as well. All right, and it's the wrong size, you see.
Yeah,
And
yeah, a bit big.
yeah, and so I hopefully on that you can also pass a message on to your mum that he's all right, you know.
Yes, yeah. He passed away in January, and she obviously took
Still
it very,
breathing,
very hard.
you know.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
So he saw the ring. That's the important thing, I think, that you were given as a present. And your mum would like to give you more, but you wouldn't accept it yet, I feel, you know. I think she'd like to give you more, but that was like a token. And I also feel your mum's not sure what she wants to do about the house.
Correct, that's right. Yeah.
And he says, don't rush, take it slow and decide what you want to do about it. You don't have to decide tomorrow, because there's bills mounting up, you're worrying. But he says that if she sells the house or moves in with you or whatever she decides to want to do, take your time so everybody's certain about what feels the right solution rather than rush things. That's what he says. And I feel that because it's still quite early days for her in many respects to make big decisions like selling the house, for example, you know, it's a bit too early yet. They can wait a bit yet. Wait, certainly after Christmas into next year, we don't have to worry about it now. I feel you can get by, right? And did somebody used to also have a bike?
My brother, possibly.
Because he's talking about someone that had the bike that always seemed never to be working properly. What are you talking about that? Does that make sense? Because I've got to say the broken bike.
Yes, I'm not sure. Not sure.
Might mean something to you later, but he talks about the broken bike.
Mm.
But anyway, he wants you to know that he's safe and well over there, that he's recovered quickly. He's shown to in the spirit world, you know, he wants to show himself to me as looking young and fit and well and happy, and all that horrible condition gone, right? And he's sending this love to you, of course, but also through you to your mum, because she's desperate at the moment to know he's all right, right? And there's a special song or something they used to have between them. He's talking to me about. How are you going to give me that? A special song he talks about. And that special song, I think he's trying to tell me it's sung like a duet, like there'll be two singers to it. It's a duet. I'm not quite sure what it is. It might be flower duet or something to do with flowers.
Yeah, possibly, yes.
So I don't know if the flower duet, I don't know, I think it's called the flower duet, and I think it might have been played when he died, but I get the feeling that he wants to pass that on, and I want you to check that with your mum.
I will do, yeah, thank you.
All right, so do take his love. He's showing himself very cheery. He knows you've all been through terribly sad times, but he's not going to come here with a glum face. He says, I want to come bringing the happy side of existence to you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So there we go. I think I'm through actually, because I'm feeling quite tired. But if you've got any questions or anything, we can have a talk for a bit as well if you want. If you want to ask me anything, please unmute. So yeah, I'm kind of jumped in there today, but hopefully there's some evidence and proof for you there, and something just to give you a little bit of reassurance of the continuation of the spirit world. I felt it took me a little bit time to get going today, because I was a bit flustered before I came online. But hopefully
you were very good. You were very
good evidence for you. Yeah, it's yours visit, Bella. Yeah. I missed yours, Pat, didn't I? I didn't quite get your connection. I felt
I had a medium in here on Sunday who said there were a lot of spirits here who were not in my family, but I had been brought here for a purpose, to this house, to live in this house. And I thought we all had free will. You know, I didn't think they could sort of make you come and live somewhere.
No, we do have free will, but I think we have, I think sometimes certain things lead us on a pathway, don't they?
Yeah. What they said was, they said that, you know, they'd been stopping me from leaving the house. So
yeah.
you know,
So, yeah. Also, what's interesting was getting the things from your dad over there, Val, too, about coming from the spirit side and bringing the healing. So, you know, I think that's a nice thought, actually, that the spirit will help us in that way, you know. And that it's interesting when we sort of all get connected like this too. We might find that we might all start getting sort of sense of the presence of spirit around us, our own loved ones, never any harm, just those that love us, because it's like we collectively build an energy up. And the more we do this, and the more we do this over the coming months, you know, you'll find that afterwards, you might start feel the presence of the people you love around you. You know, you might just feel it yourself, because you don't always need the medium to do that. It comes from our heart, really, because the thing that builds this love, this bridge between the two worlds, this bridge that the spirit world enable them to connect with us. The power that does that is our love that we send to them. So if ever you feel that the spirit worlds don't feel that they're there, that you feel that you're all alone in this world and they've gone forever, send a thought of love, and that's the vibration with which they use to connect us through our heart and to our intuition. And hopefully you'll also get some evidence and proof over these periods when we do this. But, you know, always know that they're there, they're around us, and they're helping us all the time.
Do you actually hear them, or do you sense it? How do you work?
It's a mixture, Val. Sometimes I hear it, so then I hear the names and get it right. Sometimes I just get the feeling of their personality, their character, what we call clairsentience. So I feel that their illness, for example, I'd feel that, or the sense of their character, I'd feel in that mood, as it were. So they put me in that mood so that I can express that. Or if they're stubborn a bit, I feel kind of awkward and stubbornly as I'm talking, you know. Or and then sometimes you'll get pictures, so that's clairvoyance. So I get pictures, and sometimes you'll hear it. And particularly if I'm on the platform, if I'm on a theatre stage and I'm building up to it and I'm all tuned in, I'll hear it all then. I'll hear full clairaudience. But when we're working like this, it tends to work mainly from the clairsentience, the sensing, and then the clairvoyance and the clairaudience come on the basis of that sensing, which is the, you know, the basis of it.
Yeah. So clairsentience, what is that? Is that just a gut feeling?
Sensing, gut feeling. It's like you just know things. You know things like the personality. So you kind of think, I know I'm a funny person, or I know that I'm a bit of an awkward person, or I know that I was fearful of things, or I know that I was whatever, you know, whatever qualities they put on you, you kind of know it like a gut feeling, you know, and in your body.
Do you ever have them shut off on you?
Shut up on me?
I get like shut off, like
yes.
A moment,
sometimes.
like you can hear it, and then clear as day, and then it's just completely gone. I'm sorry, I came in late.
That's all right, Hannah. Yeah, no, sometimes that's the case, actually. Sometimes it's not them, it's me, if that happens. But also, I suppose not always, because sometimes you can get people communicating with you, you know, it can be really awkward, you know, because they were awkward when they went over and they're awkward when they come through sometimes. I've had cases where I've had, for example, a Catholic priest come through once, and it was like, I don't believe in this, you know, because he's still taking those conceptions to the spirit world. I don't believe in this, but I need to speak to that person over there, right? You know, okay, you know, surely you know there's a spirit world now, you know. So yeah, the spirit world, they have their quirks. I mean, when we go to the spirit world, we're not all suddenly become enlightened beings. We become just with all the same foibles we got here on earth. And so some can be very talkative, and some not always so talkative. And I think when you're doing mediumship, it's always great if you get a really humorous, talkative one that brings all the funny stories, because that gets the energy going great. But, you know, of course, not everybody's like that. So, you know, that we work with all the personalities.
Yeah. My grandmother called it the knowledge. She said she had the knowledge, and she said, I do, but I'm not bringing it forward enough.
That's a nice word for it, the knowledge. Yeah, that's taxis call it.
I never met her. This came through the medium who'd actually come from the spiritualist church to give me healing.
Okay, yeah, the knowledge.
She came to this old place, I said to her, we might not be alone, and she said, no, you're never alone in here. They're all around you all the time. I said, I know. So,
yeah.
That's what she called it, the knowledge. Yeah.
The knowledge, yeah. That's a bit like the taxis, the knowledge. Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
I suppose it is a knowing. It's a knowing, actually. It's kind of like you just know it.
Yeah.
Know it.
I was going to ask you, what happens when they speak different languages or they didn't know English? How do you
Well, that's
know
again a bit like, Nick, that's a bit like I said with this clairsentience. It's like you know it. So what they're doing is they're putting their thoughts into my thoughts, and my thoughts will turn it into the language that I know.
Okay.
So they're working behind me, as it were, and they're sort of dropping these thoughts into my head, and my brain says, oh, that means this, that, and I hear it in English, right? But sometimes I'll hear it in the foreign language, and I've spoken in foreign languages to people, languages I don't understand, but that's only when I've been exceptionally on a deep flow, as it were, because you kind of get into a zone, and sometimes when you get into the flow of it, sometimes it just goes so well that it's like their own languages even come through. But 99.9% of the time, it's always they drop the thoughts in. So if someone's say Italian, I'll hear it in English, or someone's speaking in Urdu, I'll hear it in English, and so on. So it translates into what I know. And they use your own thoughts as well. So they'll use a memory that I have of something and say, it's just like when you went there. And so I said, where? There, London. No, where? Piccadilly. Oh, I've got to say Piccadilly, or it's just like, it reminds the person you're communicating with is just like your friend Mark. Oh, is it? Why? Because he did that. So they'll find my connections, and they use my brain in a funny sort of way to help me to retrieve the information. And sometimes I'm conscious of that, and sometimes it's just you're unconscious of it, and you just go with it, and it's just a knowing, So, and all mediums will describe it differently too, because mediums all work in different sort of ways. And some mediums I've met will hear a song, and each time they hear the song, that'll give them the reference. Or some mediums might be very visually orientated, and they might want to draw in front as they're doing it. Some of them you see do that. And we all work in different ways, but they use whatever mental capabilities and capacities we've got, and just hopefully use that. And any associations and connections. But so the words come because they drop, ultimately the thought is put into, their thoughts are put into my head. So lock me away and throw away the key. Okay, well, I think we'll leave it there then for tonight, if that's all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll do another one next month. We'll do a Zoom meeting again, perhaps next week or the week after as well, to get a we can do a chit chat sort of ones as well, right? Today's the mediumistic one. Okay, thanks for joining me. All right,
Thank you.
See you all again soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
So I hope you enjoyed that. As I said before, if you do enjoy it, do become a patron, and you can join me on Zoom as well and take part in some of these full moon readings. And if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get updates every time we go live, which we do every week, and more than that, and every time we put up a new video like this one or other reading videos. So thanks for joining us. Don't forget, click that little bell thing down there below, and then you can subscribe to this channel. Okay, see you next time. Bye for now.